Where's my Warcraft? Playable Amani trolls and Warcraft's identity crisis. Is WoW having an identity crisis? I mean, playable Amani trolls has been one of the most disappointing things I've had in quite a while with WoW. Just them not giving us that. I don't understand why that's happening. I think Blizzard doesn't like easy W's sometimes. It like pisses them off to just take an easy win, so they've decided not to. But let's see what Marcellian has to say about WoW having an identity crisis. Let's check this one out.
Where are my trolls, Blizzard?
We hear you. Instead, how about we give you Haranir?
Yeah.
These guys are amazing. They live in the roots of the world trees, and they have always been there. And they look so funky. And we will make them be the actual ancestors of all Azeroth races.
Yeah, I mean, you got to understand, this Haranir were probably part of a corporate presentation at some point. Somebody was like, hey, we're going to do an expansion. We got Amani trolls coming. You know, the players have always wanted Amani trolls. And then someone stood up and laid their tiny cock on the table and said, I got a better idea. Players also like elves. So why don't we do some kind of race where it looks like an elf fucked a troll and we make that thing playable? And everyone's like, oh, well, you know, we don't really have anything like that in the game. And he's like, let's make one, bitches. Let's make one. Let's take the Night Elf skeleton, give it some troll tusks, and we'll call it the Haranir. And then everyone was like, oh, wow, okay, yeah, that sounds good. I don't know about the name, though. And they're like, okay, we'll change it to Haranir instead of Haranir, and we'll move on from there. Okay. Instead of literally someone just saying, Amani trolls are being added to the game. Players have wanted it for a long time. We're going to give it to them. And everyone stands up and claps and jerks off together. That's not what happened, unfortunately.
Actual ancestors of all Azeroth races.
What about the Titans and the Curse of Flesh?
No. Haranir. They can hear Azeroth's voice.
Okay, but where are my trolls, Blizzard? The Amani have been in the game since Warcraft 2. The Amani have been the first trolls you introduced in the universe.
Actually, we, the modern Blizzard...
Oh, no, not this again, no.
Didn't introduce them at all. That's old Blizzard. You remember old Blizzard, right?
You no longer need to sacrifice for your people.
So good.
You no longer need to bear the weight of your crown.
So
I've
dark.
taken care of everything.
We're about to watch Succession.
What is this? What are you doing, my son?
Succeeding you, father.
Yeah, some green sweaty orcs. The Wrathgate. Why is he doing this to me?
Rise up, sons of the Horde!
I get goosebumps watching this shit.
Glory await us! Luntargar for the Horde! We will never be slain!
Hey, Watt had a great cinematic.
For the Alliance.
You mean the ones who made the game good? Who made WoW the biggest game in the world? Where Chuck Norris and the Prince of Darkness collabed?
There are 10 million people in the World of Warcraft because Chuck Norris.
Yeah, both are dead now, too.
I'm Ozzy Osbourne, and I'm the Prince of Darkness.
Man.
Rest in peace, great ones.
Instead of us working on bringing you the Amani trolls...
A race beloved by your most oldest and loyal of players?
How about instead we dedicate our creative processes and funds to give you this awesome housing tree?
For free, right? For free, right?
Well, we're not taking money. We're taking virtual currency that you use money to buy. Yeah.
Oh, hello there. You must be new here. We saved the seat for you right here in the Argentina. This is an empty table ready for you. All the tables are empty? No. You're not seeing the glass half full. All glasses are full because there's nobody here. Okay,
Yeah.
okay, see, now you're just being in denial. The Argentina's in denial of the world building and past story feats, you say?
Amani. Okay, yeah, what happened with them?
That's okay, because Warcraft is back, baby, and the Amani Trolls campaign left you with a cliffhanger for Big Troll Zone right over there in the horizon, and they will surely give us the Amani, right?
Yeah.
Is there any chance that the Amani might become an allied race down the road? He asked.
Great
fully
question.
Fully
I
expecting
know.
an answer.
Eyes open, hands out. So there will not be an Amani allied race in Midnight. I could sit here and say, never say never, right? Warcraft is long-standing. On a long enough timeline, anything is possible.
Who makes these decisions, though? Who decides this? And why is everyone okay with it? Why does Blizzard hate easy wins? I don't get it. It was like the Ethereals, too. Like, oh, make the Ethereals playable. No, we're not going to. We're gonna continue to push the Harnir. I just don't get it. I don't know why they don't want the easy win. They put in all the work too. It's not like the skeleton's not there. They remade them. I understand previously, like, oh, there's the whole thing about implementing them and putting armor on them, and the old Amani troll model wasn't going to work, but they fixed all that. They literally just got to push the button to make them go live, and they don't want to push the button.
But for Midnight, I would like to clear sort of the air. There won't be an Amani allied race. However, we will still have, right, the Haranir, which are so dope. Please don't count them out. Just wait. They're brand new, but oh my God, have you seen those druid forms? They are sort of jaw-droppingly awesome. As far as the Amani go, we will be, our players will unlock a small package of Darkspear customizations upon completing the campaign. So enjoy that. I certainly have since we've been able to use it.
That's great for druids. What about everyone else? I know Blizzard always tries to throw in the druid forms as like, hey, but they're druids, so that's cool, right? And no, it's not. We would have rather had Loa inspired druid forms from Amani trolls. Why can't Amani be druids? They should be able to. It would make sense. It's just like, I don't know. They just don't like to do things that make sense sometimes. I'm not being a hater or anything, and whatever. The Harnir, they are what they are, but the problem is the Harnir are having to compete with these races that have existed forever and players have wanted forever. You're bringing the Harnir in. They might have been a really cool race to bring in down the line if people wanted something like that, but you're trying to replace something with something that people have asked for with something that nobody's asked for. So I don't know. It's like a problem they make for themselves.
And it'll give players the chance to sort of role play as, half Amani or Amani heritage Darkspear trolls. But yes, for now, no Amani allied race, just Amani friends.
Oh, all right.
I'm convinced they had to like go to BlackRock or Vanguard or something, and they told them, hey, can we finally give them Amani trolls? And the investors were like, no, we need something that looks more inclusive. Go with some hybrid race. Do it now. Yeah, so that's why we got this. I have no idea. I'm trying to make logic of it, but it's honestly illogical.
I just don't know anymore what the fuck is going on with the game. I'm about to likely roast the shit out of the WoW dev team, and I will try to be as fair as I can by starting with a disclaimer. The devs are incredibly passionate people, and the ones we have met so far are amazing WoW lovers and give us hope that the game is in really good hands. I legit mean this. We went to 2 Gamescoms and 2 WoW events in London and Switzerland, and we can honestly say, at least the devs that we have met and interviewed, that they gave us...
Hatsatu says, I wonder if they changed their mind on all of this. That interview was a month before Midnight. You're right, but didn't the Taliesin and Evitel interview, didn't that happen like just like a month ago now? Maybe less? Where they went to, what's his name's house? The game director's house? And basically... He kind of they led into the Amani trolls, and he just he kind of said, well, "Not yet, not right now, no." And so it's. I thought 12.1 would be the time for it, and it's clearly not.
Big hopes for the future of WoW. Now, with that being said, what the fuck are people smoking in the Blizzard HQ, bro? Okay, I know what a bunch of you guys are going to say. Basically, what this comment on the Reddit post said. The money were never confirmed, or if anything, they were confirmed not to come. maybe. I don't
someone in
remember
chat
a
just
dev
said.
ever saying anything other than maybe, which is a fair stance to have. You don't want it to turn into a J. Allen Brack moment.
Have you ever thought about adding servers for previous expansions as they were then?
Did they cut this guy a check? I mean, that was a great idea. They totally did it. I don't know. Well, Sam, why is your camera in the top corner? It's because Marcellian or Flame keeps moving around and he ends up down here sometimes, and I don't want to block his face while he's talking, so I have to keep moving my camera around. But yeah, this guy deserved a cut. Clearly, they took his idea.
No. And by the way, you don't want to do that either. You think you do, but you don't. Remember when you had to like spam cities and say need a tank, need a tank?
Did he end up working somewhere else, or did he just like quit life in general? Did he just like, I'm gonna retire? Because how do you go somewhere else when like you are now most famous for a horrible line of you think you do but you don't, and later on the entire company actually ended up going that direction? Like, how does he get employment anywhere else anymore? He made his 30 mil. That's what I'm saying. He doesn't need money. Like, money is not a factor. He made his money. Maybe he just said, fuck it, I'm going to retire and I'm leaving and I'm never doing this shit again.
A tank during the Burning Crusade days?
He gets paid for
you
the
don't
memes.
remember that because now you just push a button that says go to the dungeon.
He gets paid in memes now. Yeah, true.
You don't want to do that.
It better. Hot Stew says, oh, he plays Classic now, right? He's retired and he plays on the Classic servers, right?
Whether that is true or not, I will talk about the three fair sides of the Amani troll discussion with saying that at this point, I just don't care anymore. I love WoW and love to play it, but as far as the world in the World of Warcraft is concerned, I'm consistently jaded with each new time I get hyped for the first few weeks of an expansion and then realize that the world is just the same shit, just wrapped in a different paper. So, should Amani trolls be in the game?
Should they be in the game? Obvious answer is yes. He'll think he's so good that he will start an indie rival company. You know, all those WoW guys that split off and started their own companies, so far none of them have really worked out. I think there's that Lighthouse Studio or whatever. They made that one game, that like multiplayer game, the board game thing, but nobody's really made anything yet. There's been a lot of promises, but nothing's really come of like to anything close to rival WoW from any of those companies yet.
Marcellian and I are content creators, and we consider ourselves creative people. It's kind of impossible to do videos and cool stuff in general if you don't have at least a little bit of creativity. We thought at one point that it would be cool to make a video about all of the expansions summarized in less than a minute, and we are proud of it. It also flopped. As far as videos go, for something almost a year old, it garnered a third of a tier list in terms of views in 1 year, and tier lists usually do that in like a week. So, do you think we kept doing those types of videos? Nope.
No.
We paid attention to what people like and used our creativity to make cool stuff that people can enjoy. Am I saying we are better than Blizzard? What I am saying is that as a
No, it's just you take the easy wins. I do the same thing with my own shit. Sometimes I react to a video and like nobody gives a shit what I had to say about it, and honestly that's all the time, really. But other times, you know, I know what people like. The audience views speak for themselves. Some of my videos, people really love them. They love to watch the fucking tier list. They love to watch the Clash shit. They love the WoW news. The WoW news always does great. And then, you know, I go react to Nintendo losing a patent lawsuit and nobody fucking gives a shit about that. So guess what I'm not doing anymore? Reacting to fucking patents. You know, it doesn't matter. I understand. Okay, I find it interesting. Doesn't mean anybody else is going to. Why am I going to try to make the audience or force the audience to watch shit they don't want to watch? I'll take the easy wins. I'll do the WoW shit. I'll do the WoW news every day, and I'll post that shit, and people will enjoy it. Why not? I don't know. Blizzard don't like that shit, though.
Creative entertainer, whether you make funny videos or video games, you can make what you want. Sure. And if that's cool, great. But really, you have to make something that people like to an extent. Blending the two things is the real creative process and an ongoing struggle for any type of artist. I understand the game developer is not the same kind of artist as Michael Jackson. Praise thee, King. But creating worlds, soundtracks, stories, characters has to be some kind of an art, if done right. We can debate all we want, and this conversation of the game not being the game we want is so goddamn old. I'm so bored of having it. Mostly because it clearly falls on deaf ears, and I just can't anymore. Personally, the game...
By the way, it's not the first time Blizzard does this. You remember when the Alliance kept crying that we want high elves? And so they gave us void elves? And we're all like, what the fuck is this? Why'd you make a new elf race? We literally have one in the game with significant lore and literal numbers that would qualify for them just being in the Alliance still and being able to make them. And so then they had to retroactively allow you to make a void elf that looks like a high elf? I mean, what the fuck? Why did we just do this loop-de-loop and pull when all you had to do was just give the Alliance high elves? I don't know. Void elves are sexy, though. They are. I'm not saying they're not. But, it's we have plenty of sexy races in the game. If high elves would have been sexy, too. It's just a roundabout way of fucking yourself. It's like Blizzard just loves to do the loop-de-loop and pop it in. I don't get it. But here we go again.
Hasn't been for me since BFA. I fell in love with Warcraft because of the stories and the races being cool. Adding Vulperas, Drakthir and Haranir feels like I'm playing a JRPG where the devs are trying really hard to humanize and otherwise every type of animal possible by giving it a cute face, six packs or boobs. Side note, as long as you do that tastefully and it fits in the world building, sure. But slapping us in the desert and telling us that between sands...
I mean, even the Drakthir. Someone in chat just said Drakthir are cool. Well, first of all, we had this Barney looking one right here. Drakthir, you know why would Drakthir even made sense? It's because since Vanilla WoW, another one that people have wanted to play as Draconids. Like, they saw the big boy fucking dragons, and they're like, man, these humanoid dragons are pretty badass. Wouldn't it be cool to make one? Yeah, it would be cool. Hey, Blizzard, could we ever make one? Blizzard's like, no, we're going to give you skinny Moonguard, sexual fetish dragon boys. How about that? Everyone's looking at you. What the fuck? Why? Why? You literally have the new Draconid models that you just made for Dragonflight. Can we just be those guys? No. No, you can't. You're going to get these skinny boys. And you're just going to have to deal with it. Oh, God.
That tastefully and it fits in the world building, sure. But slapping us in the desert and telling us that between sand snakes and sand monsters there live little cutie foxes that sing while riding alpacas, I'm going to ask you.
But they could do a druid form for them and have them. Yeah, right. Because always giving druid forms to any new race is the way to make it likable. Yes. It comes down to storytelling. They couldn't figure it out. What they did, though, it would have been easy. There's Draconids that were asleep or whatever. These were like the Draconids that were preferred by an Eltharion, and you roll with the same shit. I'd set your hair on fire with my scaly girl. Look, I don't think the thing is like, okay, you wanted the skinny version too. Just give players the choice. Give you the choice of the two body types. I don't think you can't have skinny races. In fact, people have been asking for the skinny human option for a while because we've seen it in the game quite a few times now, especially in Kultiris. They were everywhere. I don't mind the skinny dragons, but why didn't you give people the ones that most people were asking for? It just doesn't make any sense.
If you're really playing Warcraft. And I won't go into that story anymore. Honestly, I think Sylvanas was right. We should take all of this modern world building and burn it! The game stopped being Warcraft since then, and every now and again I have little moments of hope. Little moments of Arathor.
Yeah, this cinematic is pure WoW. I love it. I literally sent this cinematic to my cousin who hasn't played WoW. It's been like 8 years or something, but he used to play Retribution Paladin. And so I sent him this video, and I was like, hey, look at what WoW did for Ret Pallies. He didn't even know who Arator was. He has no idea who the fuck this is because he's been out of the game so long. He goes, damn, that was a great Warcraft cinematic. Yeah, I think anyone, even the older players can appreciate this thing. And anybody who thought he was crying at the end, I mean, you're just being a bitch, honestly. Just cut it out. This was a freaking great cinematic.
Exploding with immense rage and vengeance as a Red Paladin, like what I would expect from a power-driven fantasy world like Warcraft.
It was awesome.
But then we get Porcupine and other Haranirs that I am supposed to think are cooler or deserve a place in the pantheon of peoples of Azeroth more so than Amani trolls, while said trolls have been here first?
Amani was here before anyone. This is our land. You wanna stay?
Cranked it up to 11.
You
Jesus.
stay here forever. We're gonna bury you here.
I would love to have Haranir as a race in the game. I wouldn't mind even if they keep retroactively inserting Warcraft history into the game with the incredibly creative process of they were here first. They were the first.
Yeah, they keep trying to tie him into the lore to justify their decision. Yeah, it's been a weird one. Hot take, Earthen are the most boring race ever added to the game. Earthen did not need to be playable. That was just dumb. I don't get that. You could have had Earthen, sure. I mean, we basically had Earthen in the game since we went to the freaking Titan facilities in Wrath of the Lich King. There were plenty of Earthen there. We don't need to play as fucking rocky dwarfs. Why? What are you talking about? Who asked for this? Horde who wanted to make dwarves? Maybe? I don't know. But they're the least made race in the game for a reason. It's like, who wants to be a fucking stody boy dwarf? Who wants a rock cock? And now that I asked that, maybe you do want a rock cock. I don't know.
Ones. We just didn't know about it. I don't mind all of that because I cannot care about the world building anymore. But when you are a WoW developer and are
that's true. At least with Earthen, they existed in the lore already. That's true. They didn't have to be shoehorned in. The Earthen have always been there.
Writing a whole zone and race in Zulaman and Amani trolls with more history, culture, and emotional background than spiky-nosed, unshaven, blue proto-trolls, elves, furry, whatever, I can only surmise that the decision was made by someone who really doesn't get WoW, doesn't get the community, and doesn't honestly care. That's how I see it. Why do these have to come at the expense of what made Warcraft Warcraft? And why call it Warcraft anyway? The Haranir are kind of cool, I'm not denying that, but they are not Warcraft, sorry. That's where we get to probably my biggest pet peeve with the game and something I honestly cannot see changing. World building consistency. We can unpack this 100 ways from now until the World Soul Saga ends, but let me tell you only one thing. What in the burning hells is this piece of shit? Clearly, WoW right now is a platform for anachronisms and modern philosophies self-inserted into a fantasy world. If the fantasy world was...
Look, for the transmog and shit and the cute butterfly stuff, I mean, it's not my thing. You guys see how I transmog my Blood DK. It literally looks like a medieval fucking knight. It's badass, I know. If people want to transmog their shit into butterfly transmogs, I mean, whatever, more power to them. They can go do it. It doesn't bother me. And there is an audience out there for it. Maybe it's not made for me. That's okay. Not everything in WoW has to be made for me. It's all right. I'll be fine. I'll get over it. The thing about like Amani trolls and everything else is that just seems like, okay, a vast majority of players would really like this. They'd really like it. And Blizzard, you already put in the work for it. So why don't you just make it happen? And it just feels like a stubborn no. That's why we're getting that. I don't think it's a good comparison to make to this and the butterfly transmogs.
Was built on this from the start, then that would have been fine. It would have made sense why orcs and gnomes walk around with winter earmuffs and have pajama parties in the Argentina. But it wasn't built on that, because if it was, it would have been a Concord story. Oh my god. Oh my god. I think I have it now. Modern WoW is Concord, but shoved down our throats like bitter medicine. WoW is the little sugar or jam you stick on the pill so that the dog can swallow it and be duped. We are all dogs. We are being force-fed shit game design wrapped around in a beloved paper called...
I've never played Concord, but those graphics look great.
Warcraft. We are just Visa card-wielding animals. No. Sylvanas was right. We are... nothing! In what goddamn world does it make more sense for Haranir to be a playable race when they are new to the game and barely understand what the Horde and the Alliance are in the fight against Xal'atath? But the Amani, who actually fought in multiple wars against both the Alliance and the Horde, the Amani that have had an actual growth and actual fucking diplomacy developed between them and the Blood Elves, the Amani, a race dating back before the Haranir creators were even born, were just left to the wayside. This is why it's hard to care.
I would have had the Sethrak over the Haranir. They by far are cooler looking and more interesting. Yes, we've talked about the Sethrak many times. That was a big requested one out of BFA. A lot of people wanted the Sethrak. For sure. They're cool. They're definitely cool. They have a lot of great lore that's been put into the game. There's been plenty of races added to this game that post their addition, right? People loved them and wanted to play as them. That's happened many times. I think Blizzard has a lot of like easy layup wins laying out there, just like the Sethrak, like you mentioned. And I think the Haranir even could have been that. Like if Blizzard had added in the Haranir and, you know, had their story develop over maybe an expansion or two, I think you would have heard people ask for them. They would have been like, can we play as Haranir? They're pretty cool, actually. The problem is they just kind of got forced on us into being playable so quickly and during a time where it didn't make as much sense as it did for some of the other races, like say the Ethereals or the Amani Trolls. So it's not that the Haranir necessarily suck. It's that they're being compared to the races that made more sense at the time, which were the others that I just mentioned. That's the problem. They just don't compare to Amani Trolls. They don't. How could they? There's so much rich history that they're fighting against.
We've been having this type of
Murlocs playable, but please no. Now we've gone too far. Now we've gone too far.
Discussion since BFA, and it won't change until Blizzard hires developers that like WoW and want to make WoW, and not developers that like WoW but want to make Final Fantasy. But
I thought we were going to get Ogres and WoD. I'll be honest. I thought Warlords of Draenor was going to be, and by the way, Highmaul, the Ogre City, was supposed to be the hub city for the Horde, and then that all got changed into the campsites and everything because they just ran out of time. But Ogres, that's been one since Vanilla WoW. I don't think that's ever going to happen anymore. Even just give us hybrid Ogres. You know, the Orc, God, what's his name? I don't know why I'm drawing a blank on his name right now. But get the hybrid Ogres. You know, I'm talking about the Orc/Ogre race. They're so cool. They're freaking badass looking. We have the Hunter guy. I can't remember his name right now. Somebody say it in the fucking chat. But the Rexar, yes. He's such a cool-looking guy, and I don't even like the Horde, and he's freaking badass, and I think a lot of people would like to play as a Rexar-looking guy.
Have to make WoW instead because that's just their job.
It was a layup, yeah.
We have a platform, the Marcellian and Flame YouTube channel, formerly Marcellian Online for returning viewers. The best we can do is put our voices out there. The Amani Trolls are a goddamn layup. They are the freest W that the WoW team could have taken. It was literally on a silver platter. Make them a playable race. Their story makes it work. Their new models make it work. People absolutely love them. What else?
I knew someone was going to say that. I did say the word layup earlier, all right? But it's not fucking pre-watch. That's just like English, okay? It's just a standard English trope or term that people use when they're saying like this was an easy win. It was a layup. Right? It's not fucking pre-watched. You cut that shit out. Jesus.
What else do you need? The right people to call it, I suppose, because these aren't the first failed layup. We recently have had Koresh introduce us to the Ethereals, formerly the Koreshi, a race in the game since TBC. Or were they in Warcraft 3 as well? Can't remember. Their backstory is emotional as all hell, and the audio story that went into Locust Walker, Venari, and Kaivisa, and their struggle with Salhadar was absolutely incredible. I actually fell in love with them. They are a video game race, yet somehow felt more Warcraft than all of the other factions introduced in Modern WoW combined. And of course we didn't get Ethereals. What is this? A modern AAA game developer with the resources to make the biggest decisions in the industry as far as the genre is concerned? Lol. Let's leave that.
You know what I think Playable Ethereals would have done? I think Playable Ethereals alone would have brought some people back to WoW. Because since Burning Crusade, since going to Netherstorm, people have wanted Playable Ethereals. And I think there would have been a lot of people that if you told them, hey, did you hear? Ethereals are now playable in WoW. I think there's a lot of people that would have said, shit, I'm going to download WoW again and try this thing out. I've always wanted to play as an Ethereal. Whereas the same person, if you tell them, hey, did you hear? Haranir are playable in WoW. I'm like, what the fuck is that? What are you talking about? Horned deers are playable in WoW? Oh, that's weird. I think WoW's gone downhill. Yeah,
that's a Final Fantasy 14, and insert your year and WoW Killer MMO
We got
that is
the
about
toy,
to come
true.
out here.
Horny deer,
How
yeah.
have we not gotten the Tinker class after the Mechagon patch? How did
Yeah,
we
I
not
said
get
that.
Spellbreakers with the Blood Elves revamped, Silvermoon revamped, Magister Ceres revamped? How are we not getting Necromancers after Shadowlands, with the Engine of Death being all funky and all over the place and Sylvanas being a glorified jailer? How is there not enough juice there to cook up a class that has been in every RPG, Warcraft included, for goddamn decades? How are these not easy W's for Blizzard? You literally are sitting on a goddamn golden goose right there. But instead, we get surveys asking people if they would want an astrologian or a gunner in WoW. What the fuck is all of that? Final Fantasy again? I swear to God, Blizzard, you need to write a letter of recommendation to these developers and send them to Square Enix, man. They are suffering in your offices. They don't want to make WoW, bro. They just want to make other stuff. I remember playing Aeon, and there was a gunner class. That was dope. It was also not WoW. We had a period in Dragonflight where we made a lot of "the game is broken, fix it please" type videos. In Shadowlands as well. And I don't know about Marcellian, but I, for one...
I think Dragonflight did fix a lot of things in WoW. It was I think it was good in terms of systems, you know, fixing a lot of systems that seemed broken.
And I'm so
was
tired
meh.
of making these videos. I guess there isn't much to talk about right now, and I'm still a Warcraft fan. Maybe the...
Do you ever think we look for reasons to be upset? Yes. Yes, I do. I think even if they gave us Amani Trolls, and even if they gave us Ethereals, and Necromancers, and Tinkers, there would be people bitching about this game. Yes, Chronic, I do. I think there's a negativity out there, sometimes around WoW, that's just always going to be there. But it just, some of this stuff is like hard to ignore. It's just like, but why, Blizzard? But why? You know this, people would have been very happy if you did this, and you did something else. That's what really I'm complaining about in this video. It's not the current state of WoW. I play WoW all the time. I still find the game to be enjoyable. It's just some of these decisions are very questionable. They're tough.
Part of me that
Tough to
likes
justify.
WoW and copes about it is like the shit world building. It just won't die. I don't care anymore. And I am a Warcraft fan, enough of it to make talking about the game my job. I mean, how much more can you love something than just making it your everyday? I started my Warcraft journey in 2000, playing Warcraft 2 and discovering RTS games. I have dreamt of being an orc
Obligatory
warrior
WoW
or a human
resume.
mage and playing a part in the Warcraft stories for decades. Now, all I can enjoy about the game is that I am playing my Orc Warrior and Human Mage in dungeons and raids. Those are still cool. I guess this video is just a sad nerd crying over spilled milk. The decision has been made, and it doesn't seem like the creative power in the WoW team has what it takes to say, "Oh, stop everything. Players really want Amani. Let's delay the next patch by a month and put the Amani in the game for our players." Or something like that. It baffles me that there was a board meeting at some point at Blizzard to decide the content for Midnight, and nobody there actually thought that playable Amani was one of the biggest additions they can do for Midnight, or at least something that the players would crave more than a lot of the other stuff that they did. Are we off? Are we weird for thinking the allied race Amani Trolls would have been almost a sure thing when deciding the content for Midnight? Speaking of things that grind our gears, are you buying WoW tokens yet? Does your repair bill cost more than selling the epic loot of a Void Dragon filled with magic and power? Check our video out, because this is the week of the rants, and we started early.
Nice, yeah, a good video overall from Marcellian. Yes, I agree, there is a bitchiness to WoW players a lot of times where they're just gonna bitch about anything and everything. But like I said before, some of this stuff's just like very obvious, like how did they not do this? And that's what Amani Trolls really are, and some of the other stuff we've talked about, though. Overall, nice video from Marcellian.